How are you? And welcome to Comic Kong. Today we'll be looking at The Boys. This comic series proved so popular, it was adapted in 2019 into an Amazon series, which received glowing reviews. The story takes place in a world where superheroes are commonplace. However, many of them have become corrupted by their power. Some of them have even committed sexual assault and murder. As a result, Billy Butcher, the leader of the Boys, has vowed to destroy every single one of them. If you've seen the show, you already know this. But what you may not know is that in the comic, Billy Butcher hates supers so much he once killed 150 of them while humming Beethoven's Ode to Joy. In his defense, that's a really good song. And that is the first fact about The Boys. Let's dive in. The Boys were published by Wildstorm Comics in 2006. From issue 7 onward, they were published by Dynamite Entertainment. The Boys are composed of Butcher, Wee Huey, Mother's Milk, the Female, and the Frenchman. They keep reminding you he's French in the comics because he keeps fighting people with baguettes or dressing up as Napoleon, which is actually pretty offensive. The story revolves around a group of vigilantes who wish to take down corrupt superheroes who abuse their powers. They often conflict with the Seven, who are marketed as the world's greatest super team. Despite their reputation, they are the most corrupt superheroes in the world. Years ago, Billy Butcher was married to Becky. Although they were absolutely in love, one day Billy noticed that Becky started to become very, very distant and withdrawn. One night, Billy woke up to find a super-powered fetus floating around his bedroom. It turns out she got pregnant from a super, and a super-powered fetus burst out of her, killing her. The fetus could fly, had super strength, and shoot lasers from its eyes, which are the exact same powers as Homelander. Because of this, Butcher has had a vendetta against Homelander ever since, as well as the entire super community. Superheroes develop powers if they are exposed to Compound V. The Boys' member, the Female, was exposed to this compound when she was an infant, causing her to develop astounding strength. The Female will go on a rampage if she is touched inappropriately. When triggered, she will shred people with her bare hands and rip off her victims' faces. Her tongue was ripped off, so she's unable to speak. Because she will attack anyone that touches her, the Boys find it very difficult to communicate with her. The only person that she allows to touch her is Frenchie. Mother's Milk has super strength due to being exposed to the compound. His mother worked at Vout American Lab, which developed the compound. His mother was exposed to the compound, causing her to pass it on to her children. MM's brother was born severely disabled and needed to wear a helmet to avoid getting hurt. One day, his powers from the compound activated, causing his body to enlarge. However, since he was wearing his helmet, his skull cracked open, killing him. Since this broke MM's mother's heart, he vowed vengeance on Vout American. Their enemies, the Seven, are composed of Homelander, Queen Maeve, The Deep, A-Train, Black Noir, Jack from Jupiter, and Starlight. These characters are based on DC superheroes. Homelander is obviously based off Superman, Queen Maeve is based on Wonder Woman, The Deep is based on Aquaman, A-Train is based on The Flash, Jack from Jupiter is based on Martian Manhunter, and Black Noir is based on Batman. Homelander is the leader of the team and the most powerful super in the world. He is psychotic, narcissistic, and murderous. He has all the same powers as Superman, like flight, super strength, and optic blasts. Queen Maeve was a noble warrior but became disillusioned when her team failed to stop a plane from crashing during 9/11. She has since developed a crippling addiction to alcohol. The Deep is an aquatic superhero and claims he cannot remove his diver's helmet due to an Atlantean curse. A-Train can move at super speed. In the first issue, his carelessness while battling a supervillain leads to the death of Wee Huey's girlfriend. This inspires Wee Huey to join the Boys, which kicks off the story. Black Noir wears a black suit from head to toe, obscuring his appearance. He never speaks, so next to nothing is known about him. They haven't said in the TV show yet who Black Noir is. I'm not going to say it in this video because I don't want to spoil it, because you don't find out till the very, very end of the comic series. Jack from Jupiter can make his skin invulnerable if he says the word Carpo. That's such a random power. How did they figure that out? It is unknown how long he stays invincible after he says this word. To make the Seven more appealing to the public, Vout American devised interesting backstories. For example, like Superman's origin, Homelander is believed to be an alien that landed on Earth and he is the last of his kind. Jack from Jupiter is also considered to be an alien. In reality, all the Seven were created in a lab by Vout American. Starlight is in a relationship with the Boys member, Wee Huey. For the longest time, neither of them realized they were at odds with one another. The Boys was created by Northern Irish writer Garth Ennis, who's best known for creating the graphic novel Preacher. Also, let me know if you want me to do a video about Preacher. In the comic, the Boys sometimes take Compound V to give themselves super strength, giving them an edge in battle against supers. The official story is made up of 72 issues. It was published in 2006 and concluded in 2012. However, there's also 3 miniseries: Herogasm, where all the supers go on sex vacation, There's no other way to describe that. Highland Laddie, which revolves around wee Huey heading back to Scotland and deciding whether or not he wants to stay with the boys. And Butcher Baker Candlestick Maker, which is the origin story of Billy Butcher. Okay, now let's look at the TV show. In the comic, wee Huey is drawn to resemble the actor Simon Pegg. The writer always wanted Pegg to play the character if the story was adapted into live action. Because Simon Pegg is too old to play the role, Jack Quaid plays wee Huey, Pegg plays Huey's father. The TV show's main poster is a recreation of the cover of the first issue. You might be wondering, wait, how come I haven't mentioned Translucent yet? Translucent isn't in the comics. The character in the show replaced Jack from Jupiter. I'm not 100% sure why, but because Jack from Jupiter looks so odd, it might have been too expensive to use CGI, or they couldn't get a convincing costume. So it's just way cheaper to have somebody who is literally invisible. A-Train and Shockwave have a race to decide who is the fastest person in the world. This is a reference to the DC comic story where the Flash and Superman race to find out who is the fastest. In the comics, the Flash won. Homelander's X-ray vision works on any material except zinc. This is a reference to Superman, who can see through anything except lead. The designer of Starlight's new outfit is based on Edna Mode from The Incredibles. Some people complain that the TV show is unnecessarily graphic, but I promise you that the comic is way more gory. I mean, people thought Preacher was too gory, but Garth Ennis said he made the boys to, in his own words, out Preacher. So if you think Preacher is gory, and the show is gory, you haven't seen anything till you read the comic. Queen Maeve is named after an Irish mythological queen who ruled the kingdom of Connacht. Dominique McGillicott, who plays Queen Maeve, is also from Ireland. The Seven's boss is Stillwell. Butcher's boss is Mallory. In the TV show, both characters are female, but they're both male in the comic. Although the first 3 episodes are very similar to the comic, the rest of the show has made many drastic changes. For example, in the comic, when Starlight tries to join the Seven, she is sexually assaulted by Homelander, A-Train, and Black Noir. In the show, she is assaulted by the Deep. In fact, in the comic, the Deep is the most respectable member of the Seven, apart from Starlight. On top of that, Popclaw is a very minor character in the comic, even though she plays a vital role in the show. The Mesmerizer and Shockwave don't appear in the comic at all. Also, Butcher has a dog called Terror in the comic. Butcher encourages Terror to have sex with everything. As I mentioned earlier, Queen Maeve became disillusioned when Homelander failed to stop a plane crashing during 9/11. However, it occurring on 9/11 was taken out as it was considered to be too disrespectful for the show. In the comic, although they did stop it from crashing into the Twin Towers, due to the Seven's intervention, the plane crashed into the Brooklyn Bridge instead. The TV series was meant to be a movie. The show was produced by Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen also produced the TV show Preacher, which was also written by Garth Ennis. Carl Urban plays the lead of Butcher, Anthony Starr plays the main villain, Homelander. Both actors are from New Zealand. And for the final fact, let's end it on a funny one. In the comic, there's a tech-based superhero called Tech Knight. He dies while having sex with an asteroid. You see what I mean where I say the comic is far more ridiculous and over the top than the TV show. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. And there's been a lot of announcements by Marvel of shows like She-Hulk and Moon Knight and so on and so on. So let me know if any of those characters you want me to do a video of in the future, and I'll upload it as soon as possible.